Now, some were surprised that the president's State of the Union address had such a strong focus on European trade. Joao Vale De Almeida is the European Union ambassador to the U.S. He explains why the trade announcement certainly did not come as a surprise to him.
Well, first of all, it didn't come as a surprise to us, because we've been working with the Americans for the last year to prepare the ground for the negotiations. And this is a major initiative of Europeans and Americans. We're talking about the biggest economic relationship in the world today. 50% of world's GDP, 40% of world trade in services, 30% in goods, and so on. It's already very important, as you rightly said. But we believe it can do better. We can do better to create more jobs. We can do better to promote growth in Europe and America.
There's a fascinating similarity between Europe and the U.S. in this point of time in history. Both sides obviously want to have the economic rebound faster rather than slower. Both sides want to create more jobs and bring more jobs and rebuild manufacturing, given what we've been through the past few years. The president of the European Commission says that this deal between the two most important economic powers will be a game changer. Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, I think it's a game changer, first of all, on a bilateral basis, because if we do everything that we set ourselves to do, and let's see if we can reach it at the end of the negotiations, this will be a recovery boost. We will be helping our economy speed up the recovery. We're talking about maybe 0.5 percentage point of GDP across the Atlantic. This is huge. Of course, but it means a lot at this particular moment in time, where our economies are recovering from the financial crisis on both sides of the Atlantic, and we need instruments to promote growth. And this is the cheapest way to get there. It doesn't add to the deficit or to the debt. It simply opened the markets for innovation, for new opportunities for business, and in doing so, create jobs. That's the magic of it. That's what we want to achieve. But it's also important globally, because, of course, we are the two most important partners, and this will be meaningful for the other partners around the world. So, and it's normal that they look at us attentively. As you know, the multilateral deals are more or less stalled. So people are investing on bilateral deals, and this is by far the most important one.
Talking about tariffs and trades, this is the primary benefit of free trade agreements, that it breaks down the barriers to trading. Can you give us some specific examples of industries that would benefit most from a potential deal?
Well, the tariffs are already relatively low across the Atlantic. So the margin of gains in tariffs is not enormous, but still we can do better. We don't need to have any tariffs at all, potentially. So we're looking at ways to maximize the gains there. But the most important gains will come from the non-tariff barriers to trade investment. That's where we can have a real gain. Administrative obstacles, regulatory obstacles. So there's a lot of areas in which we can gain, facilitate the life of companies, improve market access on both sides, and foster innovation.
One of the things that both sides of the Atlantic have been struggling with is the regulatory environment for financial institutions. And while it's not directly affected by a free trade agreement, it is significant in the sense that by having better regulatory frameworks, that will help facilitate more cash flow on both sides, whether you're investing in the U.S. or into Europe.
Yes.
How much of that played a role in
We are looking at all sectors. Let me be very clear, and this is part of the ambition of this deal, is that this is a comprehensive agreement. So we're looking at everything, at least at the beginning of the negotiation. There we see how much we can achieve. But basically we look at everything to try to have gains of efficiency and competitiveness in all areas of the economy.
Are you saying that it is possible that the regulators on both sides of the Atlantic, when it comes to financial institutions, could work more closely together with this agreement?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see how much we can achieve. I don't want to prejudge the results, but what I can tell you is that there is no area at which we will not look and try to see how much improvement can be achieved.
There's another big deal on the other side of America, on the Pacific Ocean, called the TransPacific Partnership. Does this put some pressure on that, perhaps, to get that deal done as well?
Well, competition is a good thing, but I don't see any, let's say, contradiction or opposition between the two. I think there is room for different deals if I position myself on the American side, The Americans have a Pacific coast, a very solid relationship with countries in Asia. They have an Atlantic coast, a very solid relationship with Europe. We also have a good relationship with Asia. There's room for everybody, but I think that we have an opportunity in the Atlantic to do more and better, and we should seize it. That's the point of this decision.
Again, that was Joao Vale De Almeida, the European Union ambassador to the United States.